many hours. We started by 9 o'clock today and we're ending by 8 p.m. A long day retreat between the Executive Council, the members of the State Executive Council, and the mayors of the 21 local governments. This is novel. To begin a new year, to review where we're coming from, do our SWOT analysis, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. How far are we coming relative to the agenda, our manifesto, our work program, what we did in the previous 2 years and 9 months that we have been in office, and this year in particular 2025, our work program, our budget and deliverables in there. What are we missing, and how do we get our budget for the year executed to precision? Our budget was signed into law December last year, so we started implementation from January 1. But we needed to come back together as a team, that we need to have both the state and the local governments working together in a cooperative, exceptional cooperative arrangement to be able to drive down development to the common man, to the grassroots. Concluding after how many hours? We started by 9 o'clock today and we're ending by 8 p.m. A long day retreat between the Executive Council, the members of the State Executive Council, and the mayors of the 21 local governments. This is novel. To begin a new year, to review where we're coming from, do our SWOT analysis, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. How far are we coming relative to the agenda, our manifesto, our work program, what we did in the previous 2 years and 9 months that we have been in office, and this year in particular 2025, our work program, our budget and deliverables in there. What are we missing, and how do we get our budget for the year executed to precision? Our budget was signed into law December last year, so we started implementation from January 1. But we needed to come back together as a team, that we need to have both the state and the local governments working together in a cooperative, exceptional cooperative arrangement to be able to drive down development to the common man, to the grassroots.
Yeah, welcome back. I am Kodili-nye, the son of Wonderful. What you're watching and what you just watched is and listening to the statement by the Soludo led administration in Anambra State, and I will read a little thing about what they put out after their 2 days retreat. It said 2025 Anambra State government retreat operation Udo G ready for launch. That was January. This was put out on January 14, 2025. The Anambra State government has concluded its 2025 Executive Council retreat held on 13 of January 2025 at the International Convention Center, Oka. The retreat, termed Changing Gear, Accelerating the Execution of the Solution Agenda in 2025, brought together members of State Executive Council, mayors of the 21 local governments, and other key stakeholders. During the retreat, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, OFR, presented a comprehensive review of the administration's progress, highlighting achievements and area for improvement. The governor emphasized the need for collective effort and collaboration among all stakeholders to drive the state's development agenda. One of the key outcomes of the retreat is the finalization of plans for the launch of Operation Udo G, a comprehensive security initiative aimed at ensuring safety and well-being of all residents and visitors to the state. The operation, which is a critical component of Soludo's administration's solution agenda, will be launched in the coming weeks. In the coming week, according to the governor, Operation Udo G represents a new dawn in the state's security landscape and will involve a multi-phased approach to tackling insecurity, including community policing, intelligence gathering, and strategic partnership with relevant stakeholders. The retreat also features presentations and discussions on various sectors, including education, healthcare, infrastructure, and economic development. Participants identified key challenges and opportunities and developed actionable plans to drive progress and growth in these areas. The 2025 ANSEC retreat marked a significant milestone in the Soludo administration's quest to build a better Anambra for all, with the launch of Operation Udo G imminent. The state is poised to witness a new era of peace, security, and prosperity. This was signed by Law for PhD, Commissioner for Information. So we are about to discuss about this, what they just put out after the end. Soludo is not a bad man. It's not a bad administrator. It should be number one in Nigeria, but I don't know if it's complacency or bad advice or what that have tried initially to cover up his good works. Remember, he started by so much delays in project conception and execution. And this actually put a lot of doubt in the minds of the people because they were thinking that Soludo, with a lot of visions and mission that he'd been saying over the years, was having it difficulty in moving with speed in execution of this vision. So that's one of the red flag that people started seeing with him from the offset. But with the emergence of some governors, the new governors in Abia State, and followed by Enugu State, those that were like action pack, who are moving with like a high-speed train. So Soludo has to adjust his slow pace things and started to move up a little bit with the launching of changing gear 1.0. And since that time, he has actually improved in the speed, but not to compare to those other two governors. But Soludo, has actually had the great opportunity to completely take off or to push away any lingering doubts about him in all those things. But he gave room for criticism, and he gave room for failure, and his weaknesses came to completely cover his good works. His weaknesses is mainly in security of lives and property, environment. Environment is like he's lacking the key personnel there. Some people at a point were questioning if there is any commissioner for environment, because the environment in Anambra State look very unkept, very dirty, many things happening. That's where people started judging Soludo, and people started talking about, is that not that Professor Dubai Taiwan? Is Professor Dubai Taiwan, is he still the governor? They thought he's talking about Dubai Taiwan. How come the streets everywhere is littered with sand duns and rubbish? The drainages are left open, very chaotic, many places. And people were, thinking, and they started criticizing Soludo. And Soludo fell into their trap by saying he did not promise to give Anambra, Dubai, Taiwan. He started by denial. And which we told him that you don't need to deny those things because you can still do that. You can still give us Dubai, Taiwan. So that's one of the red flag. And another one is on the his tackling of Monday sit at home. Remember, the governor is meant to have full executive power, meaning that he has the power to mobilize every fund available to curtail this menace. And he can do that. Soludo can do that. At a point, he had meetings with the market leaders and key sectors, key stakeholders, and they told him, this is what we want from you. This is, if you can provide security for us, we open our businesses, the banks can open, the economy can open. And Soludo, I heard, agreed to all those things. Unknown to them, Soludo was not actually forthcoming on that. He was not serious about that. And that was one of his failings, because he has already many times come out and say, I'm going to end sit at home. I'm going to do whatever it takes to help the people to come out and do their business peacefully. But he actually failed the people big time. And his reputation was, people started doubting if he's, as he normally say, I'm not a politician. They're now saying this man might be a politician, is not actually doing what he has said he wants to do. So people started having doubt, lingering doubt on that, on him, on that, because for me, I do believe Soludo, if he would have done that, the next thing we are going to discuss would not have come up. And because he fell on that, those lawbreakers and riffraffs and hooligans and also kidnappers and all those criminals, they were emboldened that Soludo is not an eagle as they thought, or a lion, but they thought that is a chicken. So that's what happened. The state was thrown into a state of insecurity, because if he cannot stop the sit at home, so he now empower the other criminals, because those people enforcing criminals by force. So after the Monday, they now continued and doing all their shenanigans. And the Yahoo boys, Nigeria like to, Christian things that you're supposed to say this is bad thing to good things. So the criminals, all those Yahoo boys, habido, kidnap, a lot of things. And you saw loads of mess going on. Instead of the government coming out to fashion out community policing, local government policing, employing vigilantes, more vigilantes, or helping the Ndodogu of the state to secure the state. The government was beginning to speak a lot of grammars, and started dramatizing sort of thing, trying to, anybody that said about it, they attack, they release the attack doors on those people. Thinking that will solve the problem, but the whole thing started to damage what Soludo has done already. And people started seeing that, Soludo becoming vulnerable, in spite that if you compare him with a lot of the governors in the past, none of them can match his performance on infrastructure. But now he become vulnerable. And a lot of his opponents that were asleep for a long time, all of them started waking up, because a lot of them are beginning to lose hope, because they don't know where to tackle Soludo. But now they found his weaknesses in security area and environment. So they keep on hammering on that, deploying the attack doors on him. And he has no answer to that. If you have followed the simple instruction given to him, a simple advice, He has not been engaging the people so much. He has not engaged the people of the state much. He has not engaged the diasporans. He has not engaged people. And is people say, oh, boys on Yagwanam. But I don't think so. But the only thing is that he has not been able to engage more to the people on the street. And ask them, can you walk out from your home 6 p.m., 7 p.m. in the night? Can you walk freely? Can you, how far? So he has not been able to do that. And that's one of his nemesis. So, and the insecurity started to the point that he also failed in actually launching any security initiative. And the time he is talking about he will launch it is almost Christmas. And that's a failure on a government that want to attract a lot of people to come into the state during the Christmas and New Year festival. This operation should have been launched 4 months or 5 months before to reassure the people the state is peaceful. And his inability to launch the CCTV cameras and monitoring devices around the state in most of the, close security watch over most of the cities, most of the villages and all those things in partnership with the people. A lot of people want to contribute. You saw what happened in Newe and some communities. They were able to put all those things in place, but the government was not really into it. They failed to realize that security is a big industry that can actually reshape your economy if you really show the security sector real love. But the governor failed to show real love on security, and that was one of his greatest mistakes. So a lot of, I think maybe his advisors were telling him everything is fine, and people are being carried every day from the streets. Many of the criminals was, threatening, challenging. Even the religious organizations cannot sleep with their 2 eyes closed anymore because a lot of them are being taken. So now, this created a lot of uproar. And now Soludo is talking about launching this thing. So it shows the level of governance in our homeland. Because a governor that has been from almost 3 years, by now would have actually secured the state. Because the state of Anambra is one of the smallest states. And is highly developed in a way. It's easy to secure the state with the number of human resources available to it. And because also security is an industry, it can actually create over 50,000 people on that sector alone, or 100,000. It can. So, and the economic growth that will bring will pay for it. So that's what the government did not realize. That even if you say you don't have money, there's money with people. A lot of people have money. They are ready to pay. So if you want to, I will give advices what to do. If you want security tight state, it can be achieved just in a couple of months. But they were not listening to advice. They are not going to listen, as they decided not to listen on environment, the suggestions about what to do on environments, and they did not want to listen to that. So another one is transport. The government knows, Governor Soludo knows that inflation is ravaging the country. And because he's also part of the economic team of Tinubu, and as an economist, he should know that if anything happened to the transport sector, cost of goods and services will rise so much. But he did not bother to do anything. And even we gave advice here also how to mitigate this. Because if the people cannot find money to travel, there will be less business activity. So for him to secure the state on that, to reduce the inflation level in the state, what he would have done is basically to bring in the, I don't know what they call that bus. The bus is like 2-in-1, 3-in-1. Each of these buses, transport buses, can actually take between not less than 500 people at once. So if he would have get this type of buses, he will now deploy it to the state because it's cost effective to use those buses. So anyway you are traveling from one end of the state to the other, you'll be able to, go with relatively like 200 naira from Onitsha to Oka, from Oka to this in that bus, and that bus